Right, guys, so we're back with episode 3 of the Edge podcast, and we have Peggers here today. He is a notorious figure in the reselling industry. Everybody knows who he is. He's been around all of the cut groups. He owns a cut group, and he has a very, very interesting story. Very young, made a lot of money, been very successful at a young age, and today we're going to explore that.
Yep.
So I want to start. Why did you get into reselling?
So it was lockdown, and I've always been like into selling things since I was a little, like 11. I've been selling, like going to the car boot, selling kind of like Xbox games, stuff like that. And then start of COVID, there's like a website and it shows you all the deals. And I looked there and I saw that hair clippers were like popping off, and then ordered some hair clippers, flipped them for like 5 times the money, and
Start from there,
yeah.
So our first conversation, do you remember what that was?
It was me trying to cancel my...
No, it was before that.
No, I got in the server and it was like...
It was before that. It was about tippers.
I don't remember.
Do you remember?
No.
So our first conversation was like, when I was just starting Aftermarket.
Yeah.
I was in tippers deals, shout out tippers, in his client server, and you messaged me like for some feedback and just said, have you used it yet? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right.
And said like, I'm starting a group. And then I think I'd probably had tippers for like 3 weeks or something like that. Obviously give you the feedback, and then didn't hear anything from you, didn't know who you was, didn't know anything. And then like a few weeks later, like you joined Aftermarket, didn't you? And it was like, was it like a... Didn't you use like an auto check something like that? You used some sort of like an extension, didn't you?
Zephyr, something like that. Didn't even mean to join, so.
And that's it. And then so you joined Aftermarket, and then he was like, I'm interested in providing flips for you guys. Yeah,
so I was in a group way back, and this was like I joined this in late 2019. It was called Master Chef or something like that. It was like an iOS, like a really shitty iOS like extension, but it was like my first Discord group, and like I'd say like June 2020, I'd start providing flips there. And then I was like, it was a very small server. And then I saw your server and I was like, oh, there's like some potential in providing flips here. You're making money. So like flip providers making money. So I started kind of like finding flips, and I think you hired me like, I can't remember straight. Pretty soon
we took you on like early in the days of Aftermarket. I think like when we very first started, we probably couldn't afford to hire you, and then it was like a couple of months later we'd grown a little bit, and then took you on from there. And then everybody loves Peggers flips.
It was good time.
So for, like for me, like it's interesting. Like, why did you even think to take that route in terms of providing to groups and stuff like that? Like,
I mean, it was kind of like not easy money, but back then I had like probably £500 to my name. So getting paid like 100 or whatever a month to like provide flips was quite a good amount of money.
How old was you when you first started getting into
15.
it? Okay.
Must have been, 15 when I started. So yeah.
And that's like what I want the focus of this to be.
Yeah.
In the sense that 15 years old, and you got to a point where like you were making like very, very good money. Yeah,
I was doing quite a lot of stuff. I was doing like free pizza. I found like this method to get free Papa John's pizzas. So I remember every evening I'd get back from school and I'd post like Papa John's pizza form. Like people would fill it out, £1.50 for like a lot of pizza. And like my mate, I can't remember his name, but he made a bot basically, and it kind of like scrapes every single survey code off the site. So I had a list of like 10,000 codes. I'd sell each like pizza order for like £1.50. And I had quite a lot of like different ways of making money. So like providing flips, ordering pizzas. What was another one? Slots was a big one. Kind of going into like...
Do you want to explain what slots are for people that
basically, slots is like where somebody gives you like your card information, and then I'll run it on the bot for them. And basically buy a limited item, a limited, like a reset.
A product. Yeah, it's like Cronus Zen.
Yeah, Cronus Zen.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
PS5, for example. And I charge them like 20 quid. So there's no like investment on my side, but if I can get like 20 checkouts, at 20 quid pass, then that's £400. And I remember back in the days of summer, I was making like quite a lot of money from hot tubs. So much money made. Like I was making close to £500 a day from AMA members. Like,
yeah, well, and again, guys, 500 quid a day.
It's what got me started. Yeah. Learning how to use bots and like kind of getting on it before everybody else got on it. Cause Carnage released an Argos module and then like that was my days over. But yeah, before then when it was a bit more low key, it was good.
And you use Yogurt as well,
Yogurt bot. Still the best team out there. Like,
yeah. Yogurt's very, very good.
Yeah, low key bot, but
yeah, the guy who runs that is a very, very experienced developer. Like,
he knows his stuff.
Yeah,
and he's young as well. He's young too.
I think he lives in Manchester actually.
Yeah, he's like 20 or something. I don't know, but yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, they've got a good team behind them, a good bot. So growing your group.
Yeah.
Why did you start your own group, and sort of how have you found growing that? Like, what have you had any sort of like negative backlash? Where have you got to?
I haven't had any negative backlash, unlike Jack, because we haven't really advertised to kind of like new members in a way. We've advertised to people that are already in the game and kind of know what they're doing, but we're not anywhere near as Aftermarket Arbitrage. But I mainly started it because I was doing my flips and then kind of saw like, why wouldn't you make your own group when you're providing? Do you know what I mean? It's just makes sense. And at the start, it was just me, literally just me, no monitors, no nothing, like just my flips, £10 a month. And then we basically just grew from there, like hired a team and yeah.
Cool. And so let's touch on the reselling market right now. How do you think stuff is and where do you see it going?
I think things are changing. Like, it's definitely not like how it was. And I've only been in the game 2 years. You've been in the game a lot longer, but like even in the 2 years, it's changed a lot to kind of the point where I feel like shoes just everything's on like a decline really, but there's definitely profit if you know where to look. Like, for example, I've just spotted those Metatone tonic bottles. Yeah. They're big profit on Amazon and eBay. And like, it's just knowing where to look basically. Just adapting to the current situation.
And that's the thing with us, like, I remember when I first started Aftermarket, like people were coming to us and saying like, where are you going to be in 2 months time? What's the next thing?
Yeah.
And it's not about like, you can't forecast that in our industry. No. It's just being flexible and adaptable to whatever comes up.
Yeah, it's tough, but.
What about Amazon? You've just launched Amazon, haven't you?
Amazon, yeah, just launched Amazon. I feel like Amazon's definitely a bit more stable as in like, you don't have to worry about it all around because I feel like in the summer when garden products were dying, consoles were dying, everyone was like, all the group owners were like, oh, what's next kind of thing. Yeah. But Amazon, it's a lot easier than, it's not easier than eBay, but once you get the hang of it, it's more scalable and stuff like that.
Like with Amazon, let's touch on this. Like you're not even allowed to sell on Amazon.
I'm 17, I'm not allowed to sell on Amazon. There are ways around it, like making companies with your parents, but I'm just
We're not advocating anyone to start Amazon under 18, by the way.
No.
Save yourself.
Yeah. Or you'll just get banned if you try it.
Exactly.
Not like eBay where you can kind of finesse it a little bit. But.
Yeah. And so for us, like we view Amazon as like, for me, it was sort of like future-proofing the business.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Amazon is never going away.
You know that all year round you can find leads and like.
And that's the great thing. Like, and this is what like, I want people to realize is that like, you can have your Amazon store, you can spend, you can log on to like a server, you can find your lead, find a product, get 30% return on investment. You buy the product, you spend like, it's not like traditional reselling where you've got to be very quick. Yeah. Like a lot of the products are in stock, readily available. If we find them, you can check them out, buy as many units as you want. You can literally probably spend like half an hour a day.
You don't even have to be in the country. I know people that are like chilling in different countries, you know. So so for context, one of the companies that I have a stake in, the majority shareholder of that now lives out in Barbados. And he has a sorting facility in the UK. Yeah. So he basically orders all of his Amazon product to this unit, and then they handle it all for him. Like this guy's chilling on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what it's about. Like, and this is what like I want to push to people is that you don't have to take the conventional route. Yeah. Like you can make money. Like now, like we're in like it's a luxury. Like we're in an age where you can literally be in Barbados. That's like the selling pitch of the year. Like be in Barbados and be earning very, very good money.
Literally within a year, like from start to finish, like give it a year. If you're with cook groups, it's all about putting the time in. Like if you put that time in, I know that back last summer, I was every single hour I had of the day, I was putting the effort in, like just floating around cook groups, seeing what's like the new thing. But yeah, if it's all about putting the time in, you'll get out what you put in. And yeah, you can't expect to like just spend an hour a week and like get it handed to you, although it is easy.
And that's, like we've touched on this already, like in previous podcasts where we get a lot of people that sign up, and I imagine it's the same with you, and then they expect like money to be handed to them on a silver platter. Like definitely. That's not the case. Like we make very, very easy money for people. And it's like, I used to work an awful an awful day job where I was getting £5 an hour. I was in a factory, the most boring, monotonous job in the world. And then like, that's where when I started doing sneakers and stuff, like I then got to appreciate like even making £20 on a pair of sneakers, because for me it was like, I'd have to work 4 hours for this, and I've just done it in 2 minutes, and it was just a couple of clicks of a button. Or like, and again, like for me, a big thing is like people with raffles. Like if you've not got a bot to do it, okay, so you spend an hour of your evening, you enter as many raffles as you can in that hour. It might be a boring task, but it's very easy. You don't need to be skilled. Like there's nowhere like, and then you're probably going to win at least one or two. You might make like 100 quid. Yeah. And then 100 quid for that hour of work. Yeah. Like
it's fun as well.
Exactly.
I enjoy it. You know, even just going around the shops looking for like clearance stuff to sell. It's fun, and like, it doesn't feel like work.
So let's hear a bit more about your background. So we spoke earlier about you going into college and stuff. Explain sort of like your situation right now.
Yeah, I left school like back at Christmas time, just because in all honesty, I probably wasn't putting everything in my schoolwork, kind of like checking Discord, but it wasn't a great course. So for the past 6 months, I've just been doing this kind of like full time in a way.
Do you ever see yourself going into like a corporate job?
No.
Like, do you ever see yourself having a 9 to 5?
No.
Why?
I mean, I had a job a couple months ago, and that was just like to get out there and like, it was a hobby. It wasn't even a job. I was just there just to kind of like enjoy myself. That was a gardening, landscaping job. So it kind of got me out of the house, because being in the house, like, it's quite, especially when you run a group and you're on your laptop all day, like you need some social interactions. You know what I mean? You'll go crazy if you're just sitting there all day.
You can be very easily like, you're locked into like a weird Discord world where you're interacting with people that you've probably never met.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And that's it. Like for us, like, and like same with you, like you acquire customers, people that you don't know, you never get that social interaction with people, and you could very easily be trapped behind a screen 24 hours of the day.
Yeah. I got fired from that job though. So
what was that?
I went to Mallorca, and then the boss found out. It's reselling profits, so it's got to be done. Like
exactly, like you've got to enjoy yourself.
It gives you opportunities, like what other 17-year-olds kind of like get to do that.
Yeah, and this is the things that like what we want to push with this is like
it is life changing.
Yeah, you're 17 years old. Like you're doing a lot of traveling this year, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what's your plan?
My plan for this year, so I went to Mallorca in April, and then I've just got back from Maga in Mallorca again.
Paid for by profits.
All profits, all on the business card.
Yeah.
And then we've got some more stuff lined up. So like I'm going to Finland, Italy, maybe with Harley. We'll see. But yeah, definitely just all the, I've worked for like the past 2 years. So it's time to kind of just spend a bit of that money and enjoy myself. So
and that's what it's about. And like, this is where like reselling, like it enables freedom. Like you can put the effort in, you can work for a few years. Like you can, like we said, you can get to a point where you are very focused and being behind the screen, but you can also step away from it. And because you've got no ties to a 9 to 5, you can, if you want to switch off, you can turn your phone off and just go and do whatever you want.
It's definitely a great starting point, because that's how I made most of my money on Discord and like reselling. And now I'm looking to like open up a sneaker store and like more kind of proper businesses, if you say, but like, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. Like for me, like I've always said this, like, and still to this day, like Aftermarket and all the other stuff that I've got on Discord, it still feels like a side hustle. Yeah. For me, like, this isn't the end game. Like I will make sure that Aftermarket goes forward forever, hopefully.
Yeah, it's the start of your career, like connections and like
and like. But for me, like I'm interested in getting like a physical product. Yeah. So now I've seen like the digital side grow. Yeah. But like we said, you see a member join, and it's just a name on a screen. Yeah. Like I want something where we get to a point where I've got like a warehouse of stock, and I'm like, I've actually grown this. Yeah. Because that's hard to like sort of comprehend when you just see a new member join. Yeah. It's sort of like I want the complete opposite. Yeah. Just to get again more experience. Yeah. But like, I think what would you say like is the main skills that you've learned from this so far?
Pretty much everything. Like networking is a huge one. Finding connections and just like, pretty much just everything. Customer service. Yep. Everything you need to run a business, basically. Accounting skills, like just learning about how proper businesses run and like, looking at people that like are higher up in the game and like studying what they do and
and we've been in communication for years now, haven't we? And this is like, again, like I've got a lot to learn from you, like you can learn from me, and we can like, for us, like this, like you never know, like one day in the future we might work together. And this is what it's about. Like we're in like a world where we can meet across Discord. We can build connections with people, and then you don't know where it's ever going to end. And that's what's brilliant about Discord at the moment.
Most of like my biggest profit plays have been just from like knowing the right people, getting in like businesses with other people, and just literally knowing other partners that you can do things with is definitely key. And
what's been your best flip to date? Like,
there's a lot. I ordered some like these Samsung smart tags the other week. And I think I spent like 9K on them, and I'm getting like nearly 20K back on them. So it's double your money, but sell them on Amazon. They fly on Amazon. That was a good one.
Focus on the fact that you started with, what was it, 500 quid, did you say?
200 quid in April 2020.
And now you're placing 9K order.
Yeah, like that.
And that's it, definitely. And that's what like, that's the beauty of this, like, and in reality, like in your case, you've took it full time, but it doesn't need to be, does it?
No, not at all, no.
So in terms of like your reselling, are you still doing it daily? Or are you focused on growing the group?
At the moment, I'm doing a bit of both really. Like I juggle so many different kind of ventures, but mainly doing my group and then reselling on the side. I think my plan is just to like sell up all of my shoes. I got a unit full of shoes, mainly from like in-store and online and brick flips and stuff like that. And then sell all of those and get into something a bit bigger, maybe like watches or like iPhones. I used to do iPhone flipping quite a lot back in the day. I thought I might get back into it, but
what's iPhone flip? Explain that.
Basically, go on Facebook Marketplace, lowball some people, and then buy the phone, sell it for a bit more, like pretty simple stuff. But
and again, it's stuff that people don't think about. There's if you like, you can take an advantage of, like, not in a bad way, but like, if you want to make money, there's so many ways to do it right now. For like that, lowballing people, you're probably going to find someone who's going to accept an offer.
Thing is with people, they think that just because they only have like a couple hundred quid, they're never going to like start a business and stuff like that. But honestly, it's all about putting the time into it and just learning and finding the right things. But yeah, you can start with any amount of money, even kind of like no money. Do you know what I mean? There's things like slots and like,
so like, with like slots and stuff, like a lot of people are very sort of overwhelmed with botting and understanding that, and they don't even want to touch it. Yeah, like it takes the guesswork out of it, doesn't it? So you can pay that £10 fee. You only pay if it's successful. You know you're going to make money. Yeah, and that's why like
it's a win for everybody. There's nothing that can go wrong.
Like
with
you did it with. So we mentioned it earlier, like the Corona Zens. Yeah, like. You made our members a killing on that.
I made a killing. Members made a killing. Like what I do, there's a bot called Cyber, and like the Corona Zen site is like a Shopify site. So I'd be running like 200 profiles. This is like 200 people, and running them on Shopify. And then I'd just be on my computer and I'd just see like checkout successful like 100 times and making £10 from each checkout. It's just crazy. So, and the members were making good money from that. Everybody was winning.
Yeah, Chronosens are absolutely dead now. I was having a look.
Yeah. They went up for a while, but then I think
they ran a good course.
Yeah.
So are you concerned at all? Like a lot of people like say to us, like, obviously we know PS5s are sort of the dying.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about the future reselling or not?
Nah, not at all. There's always there's more to resell, you know. PS5s are a good one and they've been kind of an easy money because you look in AMA and on the online pings, like ping a PS5, cop it, £100 profit, rinse, minimum £100 profit, exactly. Rinse and repeat. But there's always going to be something that like 100% always be something to resell. So yeah.
It's like, it's just following the trend, isn't it? And it's about being adaptable. Like, and this is where I guess like sort of you've probably experienced it as well. Like PS5s have been crazy for us.
Yeah.
And a lot of
attention to your server. Like,
and then a lot of people get accustomed to making, like at one point, like I was buying PS5s for $450.
Yeah.
And I was selling for $1,000 a piece, like hot picks, like on eBay, like they were just going on.
That's about getting in the game early as well. Cause like a lot of people, I don't know if it was Manny. I don't know if you know Manny, but like, I think I remember seeing him like saying that it might have been him that he pre-ordered like 50 PS5s when they were, I think this was 2019, it must have been before the PS5s came out, but apparently they were like sitting in the Tesco's.
So when you, like, I remember when we put like this is what's crazy as well. Like we put like a pre-order, like post out PS5s and it was like, we don't really know how it's going to do.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that, like, so people like were hesitating.
Yeah.
Even I hesitated, like there wasn't any sort of like gauge on the demand.
People panic when things don't go out of stock quickly.
Yeah,
they're
like you could readily, like, so what I ended up doing was like, I think it was like 2 per store at Tesco.
Yeah.
And I like ordered pretty much 2 at every single place and just thought, at the end of the day, like I don't have to go pick it up and get my money back.
Exactly.
There's no risk.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that was going to be the thing that was going to shape our industry for the next 18 months.
Yeah.
Maybe
nearly even like, it's going on for a while, but getting in the game early, like I know you with your sneakers ages ago, you know, Yeezys, I don't know how much you were selling them for, but like high.
Yeah, like, so I think I've touched on this in a previous podcast, but like, I remember I was working at a gym at the time and I had my laptop at the side of me.
Yeah.
I was running, are you familiar with A&B? Another Nike bot. Yeah. So that's like the
OGs.
Yeah, the OG bot. Like that was one of the first on the scene. So like when I started, there was like probably like 2 or 3 bots. So it was a better Nike bot.
Yeah.
Another Nike bot and Nike Slayer.
Yeah.
Like, and that was it. And I remember running another Nike bot and then I was in the gym and then got a checkout.
Yeah.
And I was like, bloody hell, that was easy.
Yeah. And how much profit was that?
$1,000.
A grand profit.
$1,000 on one pair of Yeezy Zebras.
Yeah.
Very first race. I think the stock was something like, it was so low. It was either between, I think it was between 1,500 and 3,000 for Europe.
Yeah.
And
slow.
so I was like sat, and this is what like we want to push people is that I was sat in my other job.
Yeah.
Had a laptop at the side of me, a bot that's automated, already running.
Yeah.
I set it up outside of my working hours.
Yeah.
And then just let it run whilst I was working.
Yeah.
And then I've just made £1,000. Like I literally got on the train to Euston.
Yeah.
Met a guy in Euston Station. He gave me like so I think Yeezy resale was 1,100. No, Yeezy resale was 150 at the time.
150 it was. Yeah.
I sold them for 1,150. Literally grand cash, grand profit.
Yeah.
Straight in my hand. Jumped back on the train. Came back. Like it's like that's like
getting in early is the key to any like kind of not fad, but you know what I mean, like new thing.
Yeah, and that's where like for us, like I'm excited to see what the next thing's going to be because it's probably something that we can't even.
No, yeah.
Probably
right in front of us, but we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. Like, it might be something that we like. If we enter like a recession now, for me, I think that's going to ultimately benefit us. It's sort of going to be like a COVID like catalyst. We're going to see. At the end of the day, like it's negative. Like people losing their jobs, people looking for an extra like side income.
Yeah.
But if people lose their jobs, we're probably going to see supply chains break down.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see opportunities.
Shortages and all of that COVID.
Exactly. And this is going to be like, for me, like, it's going to be like COVID like catalyst.
COVID was a reseller's dream. It was, I wish I had more money back then. I wish I was in the same position I am now. Do you know what I mean? Because there was some serious money to be made. Pools, like literally anything. Pools, hot tubs, hair clippers,
the craziest stuff, wasn't it? It was like
just
random stuff.
Yeah. And selling for like, I remember the first time I spent 50 quid on 5 hair clippers and they were like £10 a piece. I listed them on my mum's eBay and like all 5 sold within an hour at 50 quid. Like, it's just unreal. It was just
and that's
a crazy time.
It's at your age, what other sort of income would you be looking at? Like if you, let's say, if you
literally like
you probably can get a job at that age.
£5 at the local pub if you're lucky. Like,
yeah. And that's where, like, for young people, like, to me, there's no reason to not be trying to do something like this.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get to a point, like you said, like, you build a network, you learn how stuff works, you build relationships. Like, for me, one of my biggest things was when I was like doing sneaker reselling, like on quite a big scale.
Yeah.
Like, I was building relationships across the world.
Yeah.
Like, we were exporting like serious amount of pairs to China, and I was like, but then I had on my CV that I'd built a global network, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was exporting to a Chinese network.
Yeah.
Like, and then people, like, you take that, you put that on your CV, and every single job interview I had, they were like, this is crazy. Like, no, like, it's unique. Like,
it is.
Nobody, like, 99% of people come in with traditional jobs.
I'd much hire somebody with that on their CV than like, don't know, like an A star in bloody art. Like,
exactly. You know, because like you're a go-getter at the end of the day. Yeah. If you're going to get out there.
If you've gone out there and like put the effort in to do something like that at such a young age, and it's, incredible.
I think it adds a lot of credit to your character.
Yeah.
If you're a go-getter, you should be motivated. You look good to an employer, and that's it. Like, even stuff like this, like, to the younger people, it's brilliant for your CV.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest talking point for every single interview I was doing when I was trying to get internships, like, I was got like one of my internships, I was like, so I went to like a good uni, I went to York, but it wasn't the best. So I was like, for one of my internships, I was up against like Cambridge, Oxford, LSE guys. And like, I walked in there and I was so nervous, but I was the only one that had anything really interesting on my CV. Like, these people might have glamorous CV, like they might have a glamorous educational background, but if you can show that you're doing something outside of the norm, that employer is going to look at you and like, they're going to be like, there's something a bit different about this guy. And that was like, that was my in with everywhere. And like, for me, that was like, even the same with my old firm, like when I went like full time. Yeah. So I quit my 9 to 5 in November last year. Yeah. And so I'd grown Aftermarket, obviously, to quite a significant scale. I was planning to launch the NFT group. And then like, I literally went to like the partners and they were like saying to me like, Jack, like, why the fuck are you even here? But like, it's about, for me then, like they were like, they literally said to me like, go chase it. Yeah. Focus on that. And they said, if it ever goes wrong, you've got a job here. Yeah, like,
that's incredible.
But that's the thing that you want, like, you want like that supportive network, and you want people that can see that you're doing something, and people who support it. But then you get, I feel like if like doing something like we're doing, you do get respect from people like that. Like in a firm, like, or if whatever you decide to do, like you've added a lot of credibility to yourself. Yeah. And
it's all about connections. Like,
for us, when we went, like, we were essentially exposed in the news.
Oh yeah.
All that backlash, a lot of negativity came from it, but a lot of good stuff came from it. Yeah. Like, we had an insane amount of people like from the US contacting us and like trying to build relationships. They wanted us to help them secure PS5s in bulk, and like even like any random product, they were like, can we do this? Can we do that? Like, have you had like any sort of outreach like that?
I've had no outreach. I mean, I was thinking about, this was before you told me, like just before you told me that you were going on Sky, was it? Yeah. I was like, shall I reach out to the news? I was like, because I've got a good story, and it's I could do it. And then I kind of saw like, CCN, like they got a lot of backlash, and I was like, at the last minute, I was just like, nah, I'm not like going on the news, but there's definitely a lot of good and a lot of bad that came from it.
And that's it for me. We got like, and I know we've touched on it before, but like we got so much, like it was awful. But for every one person that was annoyed at it, there was someone that was like, I'll give that a go. Like, so there was like, I remember like, so with Matt from Food Review Club, who's like main business partner for us. We've done the podcast with him previously.
Yeah.
He like commented on a photo that we posted.
Yeah.
And then all of his followers on Facebook started commenting saying like, this is disgusting, blah, blah. But then at the same time, as people commented that, our inbox got flooded with messages saying, how do I get involved? What do you do? And like, for me, that's the difference in people. Like, if you've got anything about you, like, and you are motivated to make money and you want to financially better yourself at the least, like, you will look at something like this because it's not, for me, it's the ultimate side income.
The only time I've ever had like anything like that, like not even death threats, but it's like selling tickets. You get quite a lot of, that's a whole different topic.
Tickets, well, let's touch on tickets. So tickets is like something that we've only just started to touch on, but I know a lot of people are against it.
Yeah, there's a lot of big players in the game and stuff like that. It's a bit of a sticky one. Like, there's a lot of money to be made in tickets, but right now, especially with the current like state of people not having a lot of money to spare, like the resale's gone down a little bit, but Ticketmaster are kind of taking over the games, and like they say that they're like all like anti-resellers, but they have their own like premium. Have you ever seen like the hospitality packages when you buy a ticket? Like, they're scalpers themselves, but
and this is what like everybody, not everyone, but the majority of people fail to realize that everybody, like all these sites, that they can greenwash it however they want, and they can say that we're promoting good, but they're still taking a big cut. Yeah,
you should see some of like the I think it's like the artist allocations. So like, let's say there's a venue, 85k people, and like the artist will reserve like half of it for like premium packages, and like they're no better than anybody else.
And this is like, for example, and this is like a good example.
Same with game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, they're like all anti-reseller. Like, you go into a shop and like you'll get bombarded with like death stares, and you try and buy a PS5 and stuff like that. But they're the scalpers themselves. Have you seen like the bundles? You know what I mean? Like £650 for like.
And there you go. This is a perfect example where now game, they push bundles so hard, don't they? Because they want to make their money.
Yeah, and they sit in stock. So it's like the perfect kind of equal place for them. Like, they'll say like extra 2 games for like 130 quid, and the games are worth like 10 each.
And this is like a perfect example where game, let's say when they sell the standalones. Yeah, that's exactly what we want as resellers. But game will put their bundles up, and they're making people, because pretty much I'd probably bet that like 70% of people that are looking to get a PS5 don't really give a fuck about the bundle. Yeah, they don't care what the games are probably not that interested in them.
They see it's from game, and they're like, even though they're paying over the odds. I know Scan, they did some like mad stuff with them.
Exactly. Scan's like, another one.
People see, Scan, game, they're all companies, but like
they are limiting, they're limiting your accessibility to that standalone console by adding so many add-ons, so they get more sales, they sell more units, they make more money. And like,
it's like JD with Crap Attack, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. Every company, there's, even if you don't realize it, pretty much all companies, when they're selling like limited stuff, they'll find a way to just kind of scalp, and
because that's what the game is.
Yeah,
like
it's business at the end of the day.
It's like, we are not a non-for-profit organization. Yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, I think for us though, and maybe this is something we can touch on, it's very rewarding what we do at the end of the day. Like, we can get the negative backlash, but at the end of the day, you know, at your very, very young age, that like you've positively benefited a lot of people.
There's a lot of kind of like, just even like dads and stuff like that, like old people like making enough money to like send their kids on holiday, and like just nice stuff like that.
Yeah, it's even like, I'll buy the kids like a outdoor play area.
Yeah.
Or we'll do the garden up.
Yeah.
I can now take a day off work this week. I'll do my reselling. I can spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of like pros to doing this. Like, and that's like
people don't understand.
Yeah. Really. And for me, like, that's like the business that I always want to be in. Like, I want to be in something where I can actually see like a tangible positive impact on people, where for us, like, people going on holidays, paying for weddings, rings, like all that sort of stuff. Like, it's like, actually, like, I've made an impact.
That Benji guy, the guy that like was in debt and then that's quite a inspiring story.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we touched on this already on the podcast.
But I think you did,
Yeah, so just for context here, Benji he joined us, I think he was 20k in debt, gambling debt. He obviously came to Aftermarket, made a lot of money, came out the other side, and now he's on our Amazon and stuff. Like he's took this he's took the approach of this isn't going to be a side hustle for me anymore. Yeah. And this is what's the beauty of it. You can
do as much or as little as you want.
Yeah, you can spend 30 minutes, or you can spend every day 8-9 hours a day if you want to, and you can make serious cash from doing it.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes down to people's like sort of effort levels, doesn't it?
Yeah. You get out what you put in.
So sneakers. What are you like? What's your focus right now? Brick flips? What are you doing?
Brick flips. I'm too washed to get any like, I know Saint over here, he's well, that will be in another episode, but like next episode. He's an in-store god. He's got connections everywhere. Like you should definitely check that out.
Yep.
Episode. Yeah, I mainly do brick flips because basically what a brick flip is, it's a shoe that kind of sits online or maybe at a Nike outlet.
Yep.
And then you kind of use like student discounts and like uni days and stuff like that to get it at a lower price. And then it like, basically you're selling the shoe at a very thin profit margin, but they sell fast and they're quite easy to get. So I'm trying to think of an example. There was like a pink dunk on JD the other day, and that was £70 retail, and I got uni days to get it down to like £56. And then on Alias, the payout was £65. So that's what, like £8 profit, but I was selling like 30 a day. So it's like, it all adds up.
This is something that like, I think we need to like, as a community right now, we need to start pushing because people have got used to the luxury of making £450 or whatever on a console, like whatever profit. But why on earth, for me, it's so illogical to ignore something like that.
Yeah.
Like £8 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've got the capital to buy many PS5s, you've also got the capital to buy 20, 30 pairs of trainers, and then you make your £8, like money's money at the end.
I think a lot of people kind of joined at the very like peak reselling time, COVID and stuff like that. And now it's kind of going back to normal, and they're getting a bit like, you know, why isn't the flipping so good? But this is like the normal kind of.
Exactly. And like for me now, I feel that like essentially it's like a cycle. Like when I started with Yeezys, like Yeezys were selling like crazy. Like you could make so much money. Everyone got accustomed to it. As soon as Yeezys started to drop off, everyone's like reselling's dead. Yeah. Then that happened for like 2 or 3 years, then PS5s pop up.
There'll always be people saying like reselling is dead, or like people making like insane profits. It's just how you look at it and how you find different products. And there's so many products out there right now that we don't even know about that are like, some people will just be absolutely rinsing and making a lot of money.
Prime example is Metatone.
Metatone, that's pretty low key.
That is like, honestly, it's stupid.
Yeah.
That product that, what is retailing at how much? Like £5 to £7.
Yeah.
Selling £40 on eBay. Like
stupid.
It's just like what, like you wouldn't even think about it, would you?
No.
And like that's something that, that's where we've got to be adaptable.
Even if you're like reselling on your own and you're doing well on your own, like joining a group, it gives you new ideas and you kind of other people to speak to. Even if you're not using the flips, just the community alone is worth it. 100%, and the fact that like, you know, you can speak for hours on there, like, and it's all knowledge. Like,
like we've had people like that are doing, like any random business. Like we had people that were like had a printing company and they were producing like flyers and stuff like that. And then it's networking. So then they were then putting in like our marketplace. It was like, if anyone's interested, I do XYZ for a business. But then again, for people that own small businesses, you join a community like ours, you then get exposure to thousands of people.
Yeah, I saw people. This was an idea I had, but like I saw somebody else doing it, and that's selling like label printers in like want to sell in groups. There's so many people. There's thousands of people in the group, and like a lot of resellers. A label printer, you know, it's kind of like a necessity.
Yeah.
You know, there's a great marketplace out there for it.
Yeah,
so.
And that's where like again, anyone that has like a business of some sort, if you join a community like this, you're probably going to get some benefit from at least one of a member. There's going to be someone that's either going to need your service or wants to support you in some way.
It's about working together. Like, you know, some people doing ACO, some people providing flips. If you all come together in a community and just, you know.
So like the community side of it, like how have you found building a community? Like, and where do you want to take it? How far do you want to take your community?
To the moon.
What's like, do you see a peak?
I reckon I'd cap at like 1,000 members, £40 a month. Enough for me, you know.
Why would you cap?
just because I mean, I'd cap because things get saturated. If there's too many people, things get saturated and rinsed. And I've seen some other groups kind of do like private groups, separate private groups, and like with like exclusive leads and like all of that. But I think if there's too many people in, like we've seen examples of other groups that have kind of got a bad rep because they got so many people in and they get
that's where like a negative stigma like definitely comes from that, where if there is too many people, everyone floods to buy it. Yeah. Price gets undercut. Yeah. Everyone wants the fastest sale.
Yeah. People panic as well.
Yeah, of course. And that's something that like I feel like we have a responsibility to educate people in the sense that there shouldn't be any panic. Like you've got 30 days to sell this product. Like, and then at least
even more for some retailers.
Like you can get up to 90 days. Is Adidas? What's Adidas now?
I don't know, but I know Nike's like 120 days or something like that.
Yeah, like it's a lot. Like there's no reason to start doing it. Like there's no worry. Like you're gonna make good money. Just relax.
Yeah.
Going back to you, and I want to learn more about you. Why and at what point, like, did you actually decide that you'd never really pursue a 9 to 5?
Pretty much like last summer when I started making quite a lot of money from like business kind of stuff, I was like, I just want to do this. So like, there's no point working a job when I can do this kind of thing. So.
And how, like, where do you see yourself going?
I don't actually know, but I'm going back to school in September. My mum's making me go back to school.
And again, like, guys, like, you need to realize, like, this is where, like, this guy's young and he's doing all of this. Like, you obviously still got your influence from your parents.
Yeah.
And your parents want to see you, like, take a good route. But, like, you're being very successful on your own. You're independent.
My parents were very kind of like, this is quite a good story, actually. My parents were quite, like, against it at the start. They were very skeptical. They were like, oh, it's taking up too much of your time. Yeah. My mum like banned me from buying like hair clippers. She was like, it's unethical. Like, I mean, Yeah. But I got like, they really, really hated it at the start. They were like, they were complaining about, because I was using her eBay and she was like, oh my God, what if you sell a defective pair of clippers and like they come and knock down my door, like, stuff like that. But gradually as I got into it, they were like more accepting of it and they're good with it now. But they want me to go back to school. So I'm going to go back to school and we'll just see how it goes.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing forensic science and then business, but this is business, like, this is only a little bit of business because when I left my old school, I was doing full business and it was just like too much. I love my business, but studying it is just different. And like,
for me, something I always struggled with, and like, you probably think about it as well. Like, obviously, like, I did accounting, business, finance, and management at uni. And when I was doing these business lectures, like, we were getting told, like, you've got to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, and this is how you make a successful business. And I'm like, for me, something I always used to struggle with is that if you're my lecturer and you're earning maybe like 60, 70K, whatever, but you know exactly how to build a successful business, why are you here?
It's not true.
Like, where is your business? Like, for me, that's something that, like, at the end of the day, I think you've got to do it on your own. Yeah. Like, you've got to just learn. And it's like, a lot of me, like, building my businesses so far, like, we've got quite a few companies now, it's literally been winging it and learning as you go. I don't feel like anything can prepare you, but I also don't agree that these people, like lecturers, like, if they know the exact blueprint to a successful business,
they're selling a false dream, really.
Why are they not doing it? Because like, it's like, you should be like a multi-millionaire, blah, blah. If you're doing it for a reason, in the sense that you love giving back and you want to educate people, that's fine. Yeah. But I feel like I used to struggle with people telling me this is how you do it. Yeah. And then I'm like, so where's yours? Like, it's like, where?
Exactly.
Come on, where is it? Like,
it's just a completely different kind of thing at school. And like, I'll see how it goes. I'll be 18 soon. So like, I don't have to be in education, but we'll see how
is uni on the cards for you at all?
No. If it was, it would only be for like, like a fun time.
The social side of it.
Yeah. Not to properly get a degree and stuff like that. But
let's go into this because I feel it's a perfect topic. Yeah. Why is reselling the perfect side hustle for a student?
It gives you so much freedom. Like at the moment, I don't have to worry about, and I know this sounds a bit crazy, but like, I don't have to worry about getting good grades because like, I've already got a path. Do you know what I mean? I've got a path that I can go down and although you could see it as like risky trying to do your own business stuff, but you know, I've done it for 2 years and I'm going strong. So
and you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's like quite interesting as well is the idea that we want to engage with students because for us, reselling, it's like, why wouldn't you do it? So students, pretty much every student has a laptop.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 100% of students have a phone with access to the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. And why wouldn't you rather sit in your, like for me, why, unless you like the social side, why wouldn't you rather sit in your room, make 100 quid a day, let's say, like very achievable as a student in profit versus working your traditional student jobs at a bar, a club. And like for us, like we want to push it now. So you work an hour, you make 100 quid.
Yeah.
Or you can work like 10 hours, get 70 quid, whatever minimum wage is.
Yeah.
And then, but you've been doing a job you don't enjoy normally.
I think
then it's also that like for us, it's so then you've got more time to study.
Yeah.
This is like why it's the perfect thing for me is that you've got more time to study and like then it's also like the safety aspect of it in the sense that a lot of people would feel vulnerable leaving a lot of people work in bars, pubs, clubs. If you're walking home alone, especially if you're a girl, walking home alone at like 11 o'clock at night, whatever it is, like that adds a vulnerability factor. And like for me, like universities should be pushing stuff like this where they can do it from the safety of their own room.
That's how they make their money though.
Exactly.
But, I'd say to any students that like are watching this or young people, definitely get involved while you're young because you know, there's no overheads. Like I've got no rent to pay. I've got no nothing. So you can just stack your money and keep going.
Yep.
And you can progress a lot quicker when you're a student than if you, let's say like 40-year-olds, you got rent, you've got
family, you've got responsibilities. Like at our age, like, and this is one of the main aims of this podcast is for young people to take the risk.
Yeah.
Like in the
Don't
sense
spend your profit.
Yeah. You've got like, you're at the prime of your life where you can take the leap and pursue something without really having any negatives.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that could happen at our age?
Yeah.
Like okay, my business failed.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go get a job.
It's not like you're going to be on the streets. Or
exactly.
Like
yeah. You've got your family. If you're like lucky enough to have your family around you, support you. If you're living at home, you've got no responsibilities. So it's like, for me, it's encouraging that like entrepreneurial spark where people should try and pursue whatever it is. Like not even reselling related here, like anything, like if you're into fashion, anything, like do it now. It's literally like anything, like whatever you're thinking about doing, if you're into tech, whatever, like you're only going to be young once.
Yeah.
And here's probably an interesting topic as well. What's your opinion on like spending your profits? Like, do you think?
I see so many of like, I have a lot of friends in the space and like the ones who are successful don't spend their profits. Like for the past pretty much 2 years, I haven't spent like a penny and I'm able to spend it now, but like, without having to really like think about.
So you've essentially been strict to a certain point.
You've got to be strict for the first few years and then you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of like my friends kind of, you know, make £1,000. They'll spend like 1,000 on a new iPhone and like, it's your business gone. Like,
yeah. And that's something that like we see where like, you know, like we charge like £30 a month, whatever it is, like whatever rate it is. And you might make people a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
But then if they spend all those profits, they then look at you as an expense in the sense that this actually isn't necessary right now. Like I'm going to scrap it.
Yeah.
People quickly forget. And like for me, it's important to build up that capital base to a point where you can then go and do the things
then you can spend your money without worrying about.
But know that you've got that cash flow in the background that's constantly ticking over and available whenever you want to access it.
What I've always thought is don't spend like more than 10% of what you've got kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think if you live by that, then like
you've done well off that stuff.
Yeah, you'll do well.
So right now, in terms of let's say relaxing, enjoying the money you've made, what are you doing? Plans?
Just going on holidays, traveling, and like I don't really buy many material things, but I like.
This is the thing as well. Like you get an experience. Like what at the end of the day, what 17-year-old can do this? Like what you're doing right now, like it's very, very unique.
Yeah,
and like it's like a no-brainer. And like for me, it's I want to push people to do that because then you get more experience, you get a better quality of life. Yeah. Like you're doing stuff that's not normal.
It's definitely changed my life because it's kind of like, if I wasn't doing this now and I was still at school, like I probably wouldn't be doing very well. And then like, you know, where do you go from there? But I've got a set direction now and like, you know, I can go to school if I want to, but on my own, I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have any idea of what your end goal is?
What age?
Business-wise, like what do you actually want to do for the rest of your life? Like, what have you
I
got
don't even
any
know.
sort of
I'm 17. I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, but just make enough so that I don't have to worry, kind of thing, and enjoy myself.
So. And reselling enables you to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Peggers.
Yep.
17 years old, 6-figure business owner.
Yeah.
What's your one piece of advice for anyone looking to start a business or get in the game?
Start young. Start as soon as you can. Reinvest your profits. Don't spend them. And yeah, it'll be good.
Good, man. I'm glad to have you on. It's been a good podcast.
Yeah, it has.
It's been good to learn more about you.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've delivered a lot of value to everyone that's like listening, watching, however you're...
Get me back on in a year.
Yeah. And it's sort of, for me, we'll get you back on a year.
Yeah.
And I want to see where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, I know
that'd be cool.
You'll be over the 7 figures, 1,000,000%. You will. And that's like what's great. And I want to round it off is that we're now like, we may be looked at as competitors, but I don't see it as that. Like we're building a network.
Yeah.
Me and you might work directly together one day in the future.
Yeah. It's like about sharing information.
Yeah. And like me and you one day, like, all of us that we're building this with, like it's a bigger picture and we're doing something that's very unique. And I think at our point, we're inspiring a lot of young entrepreneurs to actually pull the trigger and get involved.
Yeah.
So happy to close it out there,
good
guys.
Stuff.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been good.
Good?
Yeah, it's been cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we're going to finish up there and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, guys.